Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is HashirVani and welcome to today's masterclass. So today's masterclass is going to be about an automation tool that we use in our Revit called Dynamo. So what is this Dynamo, why it is used, and what sort of functions it performs inside our Revit. So Dynamo is nothing but an automation tool. Can you guys remember while working in our Revit, sometimes the task seems too repetitive, right? For example, if we have to create in a building of 100 levels, we have to create 100 levels. Now to create these 100 levels, we have to go into the elevation view and then create the levels one by one, give the elevation to those levels, rename those levels, and give tags to those levels. So the task sometimes feels too repetitive. Or if we have to provide some skirtings inside our walls in our architectural model, we have to go manually set up the view range and then sort of place those skirtings manually around the room, around each room, and then manually name that particular skirting, give a color, give a finish to that particular skirting, etc., etc. So sometimes the tasks seem too repetitive. So in order to automate these tasks, we have a tool called Dynamo. So what is this Dynamo? It is a visual programming language. Can you see? We can write a code. In our other coding language, we write a code and automate different processes. For example, in our web design, we write different codes using Python and other languages and automate the different processes, such as giving color to our website, the text to our website. So we use literal coding, right? So we write the code in C++. We have different languages, Python, etc., etc., JavaScript, etc., etc., right? So how do we automate these processes using coding in Revit? So this Dynamo is a visual programming language. So what does this visual mean? This visual means we're going to be using not the coding itself, but we're going to be doing the coding in a visual manner with the help of nodes, with the help of wires. So this makes programming very simple. It makes the programming visual and extremely intuitive, right? So Dynamo is nothing but a visual programming language. What does it do? It automates repetitive tasks. It generates smart parametric elements such as our skirtings, our levels, etc., etc., and it simply pushes the bring workflows to a next level and helps us manage big models, right? So what does Dynamo do? It allows repetitive tasks in our Revit. It extracts and manipulates and pushes data to and from Revit to our Dynamo, and it creates complex parametric geometric designs. It connects Revit with external tools like Excel. It reduces manual workload and improves our BIM workflows. It saves time. It eliminates the human error. It enhances design accuracy. It enables workflow that are impossible manually, right? So it does all of these things and helps us to manage our model more efficiently. Now let us move on to today's masterclass and the topics that we're going to be covering in today's masterclass. So we're going to be having an introduction session about the Dynamo interface. We're going to learn how to use the nodes and libraries efficiently, how many categories do we have for nodes, what are the data types, what are the list and list manipulation, and essential shortcuts and navigations we're going to be learning. Then we're going to be creating a simple script to import information from Excel. Then we're going to be creating a different script for bulk creation of sheets and views. So we're going to be create the sheets and views using this visual programming language. We're going to be create different work sets in bulk using Dynamo. We're going to be creating parametric roofs. We're going to be creating automatic skirtings creations in our rooms, and then creating parametric building structure, right? So let us start. Now where do we find this Dynamo tool in our Revit? So guys, I have opened the default template. We have some tabs here: file, architecture, structure, steel. Now if I go to the manage tab, now let me go to the manage tab. When I go to the manage tab, if I expand this, you can see we have an option here for the Dynamo. It is pre-built into the Revit, so you guys don't need to download any of the new applications and set up this Dynamo. So I'll just simply click on this and wait, and then let's expand this, right? So this is our Dynamo menu that we get while opening the Dynamo first of all, right? So we have file section here, we have recent section, we have backup section, coding section, reference section, and ask section, right? So let us go to the new here, and now this is our Dynamo workspace. So this particular area is called the Dynamo workspace, and then we have a menu bar here. Can you see in this we have a Dynamo option here? So we have file new, we can open the files, we can create a new file, we can save the files, we can import libraries, and we can export certain elements here. We have views if we want to pan in, we want to zoom in, if we want to show the console connectors, background, 3D preview, etc, etc, we can check here. We have some packages here as well, and then we have some generative designs here as well, right? So this is all about menu. So now the next thing that we have is our toolbar. Here we have the toolbar here, and in these toolbars we have sort of certain elements or certain categories called as the libraries. So the next thing that we have is our workspace. Can you see this is our workspace, and here we're going to be creating the visual scripts. And the next thing is our execution bar. Can you see we have an option here about automatic, manual, etc, etc. So this is called the execution bar. We always usually keep it at manual, because whenever we create new nodes, when this is set to automatic, the sort of the node gets executed and the script starts working. So we don't want that. We want to run the scripts whenever we want on our sort of command, right? So not automatic. So we'll just select the manual here. So next thing that we're going to be studying is our library. So this is called the library, guys. What is a library? It is a big panel on the left side of the Dynamo interface. It is where all the nodes are organized into categories such as Revit, Core, Geometry, Analysis, Display, right? So if I can expand this this library, we have an input library, we have a lists, we have math, we have Revit, and then we have scripts, we have strings, and we have units. So these libraries contain nodes. So what is a node? So a node in a Dynamo is a building blocks of this Dynamo and Dynamo script. So each node performs a specific function. For example, if I go here and if I go to geometry, can you see we have curves, we have meshes, we have modifiers. These are the lists. We have points, and if I expand this points, can you see we have different sort of points? And then if I expand it again, can you see we want to add points, projects, etc, x, y, z points, etc, etc. So these nodes are used to take an input, to modify data, to create geometry, and to extract the information from our Revit model, and to writing data back into the Revit. So how are these nodes used? I'll just show you guys, and we'll just create a simple script in order to show you how these nodes sort of work. Now guys, if I want to create a point in my Revit, I can simply, in my Revit software, I can simply go to the point command and drop that point wherever I want. But if I want to create a programming language, visual programming language point, how I can create that point? So I can create that point using this nodes here. In our libraries, I've selected this node. So we have certain types of points here. We have points by Cartesian coordinates, point by coordinates x and y only. So points, a 3D point x, y, and z, cylindrical by cylindrical coordinates, by spherical coordinates, by origin. I can mention the origin here, and by vectors, by etc, etc, right? So I'll just select this by coordinates first, and can you see sort of a dialog box sort of thing has appeared here. This is known as the node. So this node in itself contains certain outputs and inputs. These inputs and output sort of elements are called the ports in our nodes. So this is the input port, this is the output port. So what this actually means, in order to create a point using two coordinates, that is our x coordinate and y coordinate, we have to give two inputs using these input ports. So we have to mention our x coordinate using this input port, and then we have to mention our y coordinate using our input port, and then the output from these particular two coordinates will be a point having x coordinate and a y coordinate that has been specifically entered here. So this point which will get created upon entering these inputs will have a coordinate x that has been inputted here and the coordinate y that has been inputted here. So for example, let us create this particular point. Now guys, we have the input from these coordinates. We have to put the input to these coordinates. But what are those coordinates, right? So those coordinates are itself numbers. So we have to create a node for that particular input as well. So I'll just go here. I can search it directly in the library. For example, I want my number number. Can you see we have a number here? You can simply drag it here simply click it and then place it on the left side to this node. Or what else I can do, I can simply close this. Can you see? So this is an input for this node, so we'll just go into the input library, and in this input we have some basic. I'll just go to the basic, and we see we have different sort of custom selection input. We have some different numbers, so we can select the number from here as well, or else we can simply search it in the libraries. So I'll just take another number. Since we have two inputs, we have to give two numbers. But now the question arises, how can I connect this one with this? So it is connected with the help of a wire or a string. So if I click here in the output port of this number node, if I click it, can you see now a sort of a string or a wire appears? So I can sort of connect this wire to the input port of my coordinates node. Can you see, if I drag it closer to this X input port and place it, now all the information that we enter in this node here gets transferred, and this gets transferred to the input of this particular other node. So it acts as a wire, information wire. So all the information is transmitted through this wire. Now since we have two numbers and we have two coordinates, I have to wire it with the input of y here as well. And then can you see, guys, it has now been connected to this. Let me show you guys how it is executed. So I'll just enter, let us say I'll just enter 10 here, and I'll just enter 15 here, and then what I can do is I can run this. Can you see a point here? If a point here has been created, if I go back to my Revit now, can you see a point here has been created in the Revit as well? So the information goes back and forth between Revit and Dynamo itself, and then the automation is done using the Dynamo, and then automation is shown in the Dynamo workspace as well and in the Revit workspace as well, right? So we have created a point. So now let us take this point and let us create another point and join those points and make a line from those 2 points. What I can do is I can simply go here and click on this. I can hold down the control button and then drag it and press Ctrl V. Can you see now I can drag it a little bit down? I'll just escape it. I'll just delete these. I'll just escape it, and then let us select this and then take it out, and then now I want to create a new number, right? So I can select this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V it, and then move them down, move them here, and then let us give it 30 maybe, or 40 or 45 here, right? And then connect them with this, and then connect this with that, and then I've created this. Now if I run this, can you see now 2 points have been created. Now we have to create a line between these 2 points. How can I create that? I can simply go here and I can search a line here, or else what I can go is I can simply go to the geometry, go to the curves, go to the lines, and we have line by start point and end point. I'll just click on this. Can you see now I have some another node here. I can take the output port from this point by coordinate, and then connect them with the start point, and then connect this with the end point, and then let us run it. Can you see now a line has been created? If I move back to my Revit, can you see a line here has been created as well? So now we have created a line. Let's go back to my Dynamo now. Now let's create a different sort of an element here. Let us create a circle. If I go here, you can go to the circles first. We have different options for circle. We can create it by center point and radius. So I'll just select this. So I'll just delete these ones, or else I can keep them. What I can create is create a circle. If you guys don't know what sort of inputs and outputs we have, we can simply pan our mouse close to this input ports. Can you see we have some information here? It shows the center point of the circle should be a point, and it should be can you see in the last line we have geometry point by coordinates. So can you see we have already created a point by coordinates here. So in the input port for this radius point, I have to create this sort of node, and then in turn for this sort of a node we have to create two numbers nodes, right? So let me copy this, Control C, Control Z, select this, Control C, Control V, and then point by coordinates. I've selected, I'll just select these two, Control C, Control V, and here I'll just unwire them, and then let us wire this with this, and then this with this, and then maybe let us give a point here. I think I'll just give it 60, or else what I can do, I'll just give a 3D point here, guys. Is it okay if I give a 3D point? I'll just delete this, just create a 3D point here. I'll just go to the, do I have some points? So where is my points, guys? I've just taken a point here. Or else I can search it from here. Can you see? I have point by coordinates. I'll just select this. I'll just give it a 60, give it a 45, and then give it a Control C, Control V it, and give it a 55 here, and then connect this with this, and then I'll just connect the output port for this point to the center point here, and then the radius should also be a number. Control C, Control V, and then I'll just give, let us say 20, and then with this, and then I have to run it. Can you see I have a circle here? So I'm not able to move that circle. Why I'm not able to move that circle, move closer to or pan closer to that circle, is because, can you see I've here selected here the script option. If I want to see the geometry, I can click on the geometry, all the script gets, and now I'll be script gets sort of graded out, and then I'll be able to see this particular circle. Can you see I've created a center point and I've created a circle here. If I go back to my Revit here, I'm able to see that circle, and I'm able to see that line as well, right? So I'll just go back to my script now. Can you see I've created this point by circle? So this is a simple script you can run. So now, guys, we've created this script, but can you see we can do one thing. We have created this outline. Now sometimes what I want is, I've created this outline for my floor to be circular. So how can I create a floor using the circle that we've just created, so that the circle acts as the outline for this particular floor? So for that, what I can do is, I can go here, I can go to the Revit section here. Any elements that we want to create in our Revit will be shown in the Revit section here. For example, we have analyze, we have application, we have elements, filters, etc, etc. So for now, what we want is, we want our elements, right? We want our ceilings, areas, etc, etc. We have some do we have some floor here? Yeah, we have some floors here. We have some floor by outline. Can you see we have an outline here of the circle? So we can use this outline type and level, outline type and level as well here, or else I can search it in the libraries here. Can you see I can search FLOOR, floor by outline. Do I have some floor by outline? Yeah, can you see by outline and level? So if I sort of introduce this node in my workspace, and then what I can do is go to the input ports of this node here. Can you see we have three inputs? We have outline curve. So I've created an outline using the circle. I just simply wire this to this input here, and then we have, just make it a little bit give a little bit space, and then we have floor types. So we can simply go, and can you see if I hover now, we have some floor type here. So simply go here and search floor type here, floor type. I have my floor types, and all the floor types that I have done in my Revit. If I go back to my Revit, can you see in my architectural tab, and if I go to the floor here, architectural floor, we have some different floors that have already pre-created in my Revit. So now I'll just close this for now, and then I'll just go back to my Dynamo. I'll just wire this floor type with this. Can you see I'm able to see all those floor types that I've just seen in this. So if I can select any one I want. I'll just select the 6-inch foundation slab, and then the levels. For these levels, I have to create a different load called levels here. I'll just go here in the library LEVEL. You see level selections. I can simply go here, wire this with the level selections, and then select the two levels. So I've already I only have two levels created in my, can you see, level 1, level 2. So all the levels that we've created here will get shown in my Dynamo. I'll just select level 2 for now and then wire it with this, and then okay, let's run this. Okay, so it took a little bit of time and now the run is completed here. Can you see a run is completed here? If else there is an error here, can you see all these nodes, they are in sort of a grayish background. It will flash red whenever we have an error. We have created a different, for example, floor types. I have taken a different sort of floor here, and then I've inputted that with the input port of this node here, so it will flash red and show that the error, so that there is an error. So I'll just go back to my Revit now. Do I have some floor that is created? I'll just go to the 3D. Yeah, can you see here, if I go to the fine and then shade it, can you see my floor has been created using the outline that I've selected earlier using the circle, right? So this floor is now created using the script that I've created, right? Just create another level here. Can you see? I'll simply go here and select these 3, or else what I can do here is, or I'll just show you another things, right? So guys, after this particular script, let us take an example of a script which is a little bit more advanced. For example, if I go back to my Revit here, can you see we have an option here called sheets, and if I want to create different sheets, I have to manually click on this new sheet and then I have manually load the family here, or if I want to select this sheet and then edit that particular family of the sheets, right? So it is a very lengthy process. So how can we create a Dynamo script that automates this process? Now to automate the sheet creation process, we have to look at certain data types, right? We have to have the data of different levels, what those levels will be called, and then what will be the elevation of each of the levels. If I go to the elevation view here, we have level 1, level 0, etc., and the elevation here of that particular level. So I have to create all these data. Now how do I create that particular data? In which app do I create that particular data? We're going to be learning. So for now, in order to create the levels, I'm going to go to Excel format. We always create the data for our Dynamo in our Excel, right? So I'll just select a workbook here. I'll just, in the first tag, I'll just write the levels, right? So what should be the names of the levels? I'll just select level 1 here, level 1, and then I'll just take this corner and move down after the level 100. I guess, I think you guys should be familiar with how to work in our Excel, right guys? So I'll just created 100 data types for levels, and then for this I'll just create elevations. I'll just take the elevations in feet, 10, 20. I'll just select the first one, shift 10, and then I'll just drag it down, right guys? I have to drag it down to 100 maybe. Yeah, let us drag it down to 100, or I should have double clicked it, that would have worked also. So this way works as well. So I have created all the elevations of that particular levels and the names of those levels. I'll just export this file. I'll just save it as on the downloads folder. I'll save it, book 2. I'll just, okay, I have now saved this particular file. I'll just move on to my Revit now. So this is a default template, guys. This is in feet and inches, right? You can check the units. UN is the shortcut. You can check the units. It is in feet and it is in inches, right guys? So I'll just delete this particular level, and then I'll just rename this particular level as level 0, since I have created the level 1 as the first level in my Excel, right guys? So I'll just go back to my Dynamo now. I'm in my Dynamo, guys. As you know, this is the worksheet. This is the libraries, and in my libraries I find different headings, and in different headings there are different nodes, and those nodes will help us to connect different and create different scripts, right? So now the question arises, we have created an Excel file. So how do we create a script such that Dynamo understands that particular file? It finds that particular file, it finds the location of that particular file, and then that data that we created in our Excel may be used to create a script for our sheet creation. The first task here is to import that particular data. So how do I do that? I'll just browse through this library here. Which particular sort of heading suits us. So I think this heading suits us. I'll just move into this heading and expand it. Which particular heading suits us here as well? I think we have to import data, so I'll just select the data here, and then we have to import it from Excel, right? I'll select the import Excel button. Can you see we have a node here? I'll just I can use my scroll button to make it smaller or bigger, right? Now this node in turn has some ports here. These particular ports on the left are called as the import ports, and on the right are called as export ports. So the first port is the file port, and if I hover near this, can you see we have it is of VAR type, and then it says file representing the Excel workbook, right? Now can you see here, guys, if I select this particular port here, I want to get a node. I want a node which will browse through my internet, find the location of my file, and then transfer that particular file to this particular output, right? Input port of this node here, right? So guys, I can search here file path. So I want a node that will find the path of my file that I created in my Excel. So I'll just find file path here. File path, you can find it under systems as well, guys. I've added this node in my workspace, guys. Now can you see, guys, in a browse option here? So this means I can browse through my internet and through my PC and select that particular file. I'll just browse here. I have my book to, I'll select this. Now this particular output of this particular node won't be sort of compatible with the file here, because if I go here, so what I can do is I can create a node so that that will sort of work as an intermediary between these two nodes. So I'll just go here, I'll select file to, maybe not to, we want from, right? We want file from this particular file path, right? I'll just search file from, right? So we have this node here. I'll just paste this node here. So make sure, guys, we have a manual selected here, because it will always run our scripts in the background. We want it to run whenever we want it only, right? So I'll just select this input path and just connect this with this, right, guys? I'll just run it once so that the warning goes away. Now the second thing that we have is our sheet name. So how do we input this sheet name? We have to create a node which will in which we can manually enter the sheet name. So I'll just go here, I'll just search here code clock, right? So this is an editor and it will edit our script, right, guys? So it has some input here, and then I can connect this with the sheet name here. So what I need to enter here, I need to enter the sheet name. So if I go back to my Excel, I can go here, I can go to rename, I will control C it, and then I have to enter this in inverted commas. Always, guys, you have to enter in inverted commas, control V it, and then inverted commas again, guys. And then if I click outside of the box here, can you see I have my string? I'll just connect the string and then I'll just run it once. When I run it, it shows run completed here. I'll just make it a little bit zoomed in, right, guys? Now we have input from this particular file, and then we have the sheet number here from that particular Excel file. Now these two things are not important for now. I want to check whether this string has imported some data into my Dynamo. So how do I check that? Can you see we have an auto option here, and next to this auto option we have this 3 buttons here. If I click on these 3 buttons and hover down, can we see we have a list here? If I pin this list with using this pin button here, can you see, guys, we have the data, exactly the data that we created in our Excel. We have levels, level names, and then the second here is the elevation. Now I can scroll down and go to each and every level that we've created in our Excel. Now this is all created, and now our data has been imported in our Excel. So what I do is select all these and then control and then right click and create a group here, and I'll name this group as I'll just change the color to yellow. Maybe let us change the color as yellow, and then import data import, right? Just name it data import, right? So now the next thing that we want is, using this data, we want to create different levels, guys, right? So how do we create this different levels? Obviously, let us unpin it for now because it's a little distracting. And now how I want to create that levels. Where can I find that levels? Since these levels are the elements of the Revit, we create these levels in our Revit. So I can go to library, and under Revit I can find those particular levels. So it is under the elements. Since levels are the elements, I can go to elements, and then let us go to L. Where is the L? Here you can see the levels, and then we have levels by elevation and name, right guys? I can select this node, paste it here, and then it has two input ports. We have elevation and we have name. Now guys, since the output from this particular script that we have created in this format is in this format here, so we need a certain node that exports only level 1 data. It has the level data, level name as well, and then the level elevation as well. We need can you see in this particular node we have two sort of datas. We have elevation that are 10, 20, 30, 40 mentioned here in blue, and then is name mentioned here in orange, right guys? So how do we create a certain node that extracts only certain data from this and then sort of exports that data to this node here? So we use a node called get item at indexes, right guys? These are the indexes and we have to get those items. So I'll just select search here, get, we don't need we don't create any spaces guys here, get items, right? So I can see my node here. I'll just select this node and paste it close here, close to here, right guys? So what is this node and why is it used? So this node, if I zoom into this node, it has two sort of input ports. It has list and it has index, and then output is the item, right? So this particular node, the only function of this node is to filter the data from this particular particular list here, and then feed that data into the elevation here, and then similar thing with the name as well. So first of all, let's take a look at the elevation. We need to export the 30, 20, 10, the datas in blue here, and we need to export those datas into this elevation here, right guys? How do I do this? Now the first is our lists. If I go here, pay attention guys, it's a little bit tricky. So what is this list? So the list is the data that has been exported here. Now can you see the information in this list is of two categories. The one is the naming itself, it is list 0, list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4, etc. And then other is the continents or the elements inside these lists guys, right? So I'll just show you guys this in my screen. I'll just take a screenshot. I think I have a screenshot somewhere. Let me check in my screenshots maybe. So guys, pay attention very carefully here. Let me do one thing. Let me set this up. Okay, this works. So I've just taken a screenshot here, snip here, right guys, for this list. So what is the information that we have in this particular list? Let me take a pen here. So we have two sorts of information here. I'll just take the first information should be in orange, right guys? Or let us take yellow here. So two types of information. The first information here is, let me select it, right? Right. So the first information here is this information, the list itself. So we'll just call it information 1, list 1, right guys? This is the list. We'll just call it L. We'll just call it L1. So this information we will refer to as L1. But then we have another set of information here. We'll just mark that with green. The second set of information here is this one. So we'll just mark this with L2. So this sort of set of information contains two things. It contains this 0 and then this 1. 0 contains the name of the level, and then 1 contains the elevation. 0 contains the name of the level, here is level 2, and then elevation of this level 2 is 20, and then similar thing we have here as well. We'll just name it L2, the set of information, guys. This is L2 again, and then in this L2 we have the name of the level and then elevation of this particular level. Same thing here, guys. Make sure that this sort of format you will remember. I'll just minimize it for now. Now we have the list here. If I go here, if I connect the data here from here to this list, and then here, can you see we use levels? We have two sets of levels. I'll just tick on this, and then can you see, guys, in the example I gave two sorts of levels here, two sorts of informations here, the L1 and L2. Now what I want this 0 here, this 0 list, this 1 list, this 2 list, this 3 is of no use for me, right, guys? Because this doesn't give me any information that I want to create my levels, different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3 in my Revit site. So I just don't use this L1 information anywhere. So I won't select this L1 anywhere. So I don't want this L1 0 list 0, with this L1 contains 0 list, 0 list 1, list 2, list 3. So I don't want this information. So I'll make sure the only information that I want from this particular information tab here is the L2, right? So I'll just close this for now. I'll just select L2 here, and then from this L2 we have two sorts of informations, right, guys? We have level information and then the elevation information. So for this particular node we want the elevation information. So I'll select the information here, and then I'll just use a node called code blocks that we used earlier. I think we just Control C it, right? Just Control C, Control V it. Now I'll just make it here, and then I'll just connect this with this index here. So this, what will this do? It will just so what this will do is it will make sure which sort of information we want to export from this particular node here. Do we want the name of the level, or do we want the elevation? Since this is the elevation here, we'll select the 0 or 1. Which particular one we select? We'll select the 1, because 1 gives the elevation of that particular level. Here 1 gives the elevation of the level 2. Here 1 gives the elevation of the level 3, that is the 30, right? So I'll just select 30 here. Sorry, I'll just select 1 here, and then the same thing I'll do for the name. I'll just copy these two, Control C, Control V it, like this, and then like this, and then from this I'll just select 2 here. So here I want 0, guys. No, here I want right. So here I select 0. Okay, guys. And now the list is here, and then the code block should be here, and then I'll just move it here, and then just move it here, so it's a little bit more visible and sequential, right, guys? Make sure you guys make it sequential. Now let us see, and let us run it. Let us see if the level information here, can you see I have null information here? If I zoom in, if I go here, because I have not run the script yet, can you see it gives null here? Now if I run the script, if I go here, can you see the list has now been created in this list? If I pin this particular list, I'll get a name of the level and then elevation of that particular level. If I zoom in, can you see the elevation is level 10. First level has an elevation 10, second level has an elevation 20, the third level has an elevation of 30, etc, etc. Now let us view this in our Revit. If I go back to my Revit, can you see all the levels have now been created up to level 100, guys? Right? Is this clear? So just make sure make this in sequence. So now we have created all the levels. The next thing that we want to create is the sheets, right, guys? Before doing that, guys, let us name these as just select all of them and then create a group here. So this will be pretty nicely laid out, guys, right? Create a group here. I'll just name it as level creation, right? Now we created the levels, but guys, we've created the levels up until now. Now for the creation of the sheets, we need to edit the Excel file, because in that particular Excel file, if I go to the Excel file, we have only given the elevation and the names of the levels. Now we want to give the name of the different sheets and the number of those particular sheets, right, guys? So for that, I'll just go here, call this sheet 1, and then let us give it number as A, or perhaps A-001, or let's leave it at that. I'll just go here, I'll just double click, and then here I'll just double click, You may see file has been created. I'll just update this. Before doing that, let us make sure that we have the family, what type of family we have in our Revit. So if I go here, I'll just create go to the new sheet, and then we have this family, right? So you can use a custom family here as well. You can just simply load that particular family from here and then use that. So guys, let us go to back to my this, and I'll just save this, Control S, or else I can save this from here as well. Now let us check if this has been updated in our Dynamo. I go here. Now let us see. Let us run it again. Can you see, guys? If I zoom in here, I'm not able to. If I zoom in here, can you see we have some the sheet names here as well, and then the sheet numbers here as well. So this that we update, the update that we gave in our Excel is now working. Now the next thing that we have is our sheets. So I'll just go to the sheets. I'll just search sheets. Which sheet that we want? Name, number, title block, right, guys? I'll just select this one. Or perhaps, since we want to create the views in the sheets as well, just delete this. So I'm not able to search that particular thing, because I'll just do one thing. I'll just go to Revit, and then let's find it here. So let's go to Revit, let us go to views, and then let us go to sheets, and let us expand this a little bit so I'll be able to see all of them. Can you see? Yeah, here I can see by name, number, title block, and view. Since I want the view as well, right, I'll just select this, and then let us okay. So now I have my sheet name, I have my sheet number, I have my family, and then I have the view, right, guys? So for this, to import the information from this particular view, I'm again going to be taking this list by item. Control C, Control V it here. I'll just detach this one, and then just show you guys. Now to show you this, the connection should be from this data here. And now the list is the same. Can you see? The list is the same. It is from this particular yellow and the orange and the green things, but the code blocks here is different, right, guys? So I'll just select the code blocks, Control C, Control V here, and then name, give it here, and the item here should be the sheet name, and then the sheet name is at what code? If I zoom in here, zoom in, right? So it is at sheet, it is at 2. So here we gave 0, here we gave 1, and we have to give here 2. So I'll just go give 2 here, and then connect this with this. Okay, this works. And the same thing for sheet number. I'll just select this, Control C, Control V, and then here, and then what is the sheet number at? It is at 3, right, guys? So I'll give 3 here. Okay, this works. And then just move it here, and then we have just give the sheet number wiring to this, and then we have title block and family. Since I have to browse my computer or my Revit, so for that what I will do is I'll go here in family. I'll just search family, family types. Let us check if this works. So it works. I'll just select what is my family called? It is TechnoStrut, maybe. Am I able to see that particular family? No. So let me check the family name. I'll just go back here. In my sheets, I've loaded a family. I'll search here, or perhaps what I can do is go to new sheets, and then the family name is TechnoStrut. I've created this family. This is a custom family, guys. So I've created this family. You guys can also create a family. I'll just go T here. Yeah, I can see the family here. So I'll just give the connection to this, and then we have the views. I'll just select floor plan views, since I want in my views, in my sheet, I want some views. Those views should be whatever you want. You may choose the floor plans or the ceiling views, etc. So I'll just select floor plan, the FLOO, or floor plan views maybe. Yeah, floor plan view by level, that works. Just go here, make it here, and take it here, and then floor plan views by levels. I'll just connect it with this, and then levels. Okay, I'll just run it for now. Let us see if we have any errors. So we have an error. I'll just go back and check this error. What is the error showing? Okay, right. Okay, so let me check this. Can you guys figure out the mistake that I've done here? Can you see, guys? I haven't given any information from the level. So where I can give that information from? I can give that information from the levels that we've created here. Now let us run it. Give it some time, guys. Okay, run has now been completed. Let us see. It still gives me some warning, but this is part of Dynamo, guys. Let us see. If I see the sheets, can you see all the sheets have now been created along with the number and the sheets. If I select this, if I go to the sheet now, can you see I have to manually adjust the view and then place it on the center, and these are my floor plan views. But I have some on my sheet too. I have created the sheet, but my views are not available here. Let us check why that is. Let us see what the error here is. So it says sheet by name and view of operation failed. View now couldn't be packed onto the sheet. Right. So let us check it again. So guys, I've rectified that error. So what I have done wrong in the previous thing, can you see I had a view selected here, so I had a different one. If I expand this, can you see I have two by views and then by view only. So select this one, guys, and then make sure all the strings are properly attached. Now my warning is gone. Let me show you guys how what happens in Revit. If I go back to my Revit, now every sheet has a view attached to it, right guys? Now let us say I want to give a correction here. So how can I give a correction? Can you see, guys, in the sheet name I've written all the sheet names. Where is the sheet name? Here. Okay, where is the sheet name, guys? Here. Can you see I've given the sheet name as SHE2. If I wanted S only in capital and then the rest of are not capital, how can I do that? So let's learn that. Before doing that, guys, let us create a group here. So this is well structured, and if you have to do any corrections, you will be able to do it correctly and quickly. So I'll just create a group here and rename it as sheets and views creation. I'll just change the color here, right? And let's change the color to, perhaps let's keep purple here. See, guys, you can save this file, and let us save it on desktop Dynamo. Right, guys? Okay, so the next thing that we have is, okay guys, so this was all about the sheets creation and view creation. I'll just simply delete this. Let's move on to a little bit more advanced example. Here in our Revit. So let us say, for example, I want to create a roof, and that roof should be curved. So how can I do that? So what I can do is I'll just go to curves. In my geometry, since it's a curve, it may fall under the curves, and if I go to the curves, I have different sort of options, but I'll use a NURB curve here. Can you see a NURBS curve here? I'll just select this, and then it has some options here. I'll just extend this a little bit, and then we have by points, we have degree, etc. So I'll just select the first one, right? I'll just zoom in, zoom out a little bit, and then we have the points here. So earlier we also used the points, so we'll go to points here. We'll just simply search it from here, POINTS, right? So points by coordinates XYZ. Since we're going to be using 3 points to create this particular curve, so we're going to be using a point node. So in this point node, if we go the manual way, we'll have to create infinite number of points to create this particular curve, but we're not going to do that. We're going to be using a node called sequence, right guys? Let us use it, sequence. So it's a list. I'll just select this sequence, and now let me tell you what this sequence actually does, right? So I'll just go here, and then can you see guys, it has a start point, it has an amount, and it has a step. So what is the start, what is this amount, and what is this step, and where does this actually plug into? I'll just make it manual here. Now for my X point, this is the point which is the first point of this which is the first coordinate of this particular point that I'm going to be creating, which is in turn which will in turn be the input of this particular curve that I'm going to be creating. So for this particular coordinate X, I'm going to be creating multiple X coordinates. So how can I do that? Either I can go one by one and one by one. So that is not feasible for us, right guys? So I'll just use the sequence plug here. I'll just do one thing, the start. This means the start point of this particular coordinate. So I'll just select for this I'll use number. Just go here, I'll just go inputs, I'll just go basic inputs, and then I'll just do numbers. Since this is the number sequence, these numbers, right guys? So I'll just select this, move it here, and then move this to here, and then I'll just Control C, Control V, Control V. I'll just use 3 numbers here since this has 3 inputs, like this, and then I'll just connect this with this, and then connect this with this. So I'll just show you what this actually means. So I'll just select the 0 here, okay, and then the number should be, I want 4 points, so I'll just select 4, or let's say 4, or let's say 5, right? So what is this the amount I want? The amount of points I want 5 points. The start location of this X coordinate should be 0, so that this would be can you see my pointer guys? This is a red line here. So this is a 0 coordinate for the X this is the start point for this X coordinate here. So I want 5 points, so this means that 1 point will be here, 1 point will be here, 1 point will be here, 1 point will be here. But what will be the intermediate distance between these points? So I can set that particular distance using this step here. So let me, since I'm using an imperial template here, so let us say I want 4 feet distance here. I'll just select 4 here, and let us run it. And now the run has been completed. I'll do one thing. Okay, run has now been completed. I'll just go here. I'm not able to see this yet, so let me check, right? So 0.0. okay, so mistake here, I haven't actually connected this with the void coordinate here. Right now let's run it. So can you see guys, now the 5 points have been created according to this sequence, which in turn we set using these numbers here, right guys? Now we'll do the similar thing with the y and z coordinates, but it should be in a serial manner, so that it actually makes sense for the points to be interjoined and to create a roof, right guys? So let us do the y and the z axis. Before that, let me give it a little bit of spacing, guys. Let us give it a perhaps 7 feet spacing. Let's run it. Now it is a little spaced out, guys, right? But let us actually understand first what this actually means. So this axis, the red axis, is the x-axis, the y-axis is the green axis, and the z-axis is the blue axis. So if I want to move make a curved sort of a curved sort of a floor here, or sort of a roof here, so I want different levels for these particular elevations for these z-axis. So what I'll do is I'll just use this thing. You can use these things exactly like this, and then give the y coordinate, z coordinate exactly the way we did the x coordinates. I'll just show you another way you can do it, so you guys may have the ability to do the same task differently, right guys? So I'm going to be using the list here. Let's just go here as a lists, right guys? I'll just create a list, lists lists. So I'll have the lists, or else do I have some lists? Right. Okay, I'll just do one thing. I'm not able to see this list. Where is the lists? lists, or perhaps it is create list, maybe. Yeah, so I'll just go here, keep it here, and zoom in a little bit. Can you see we can create an infinite number of lists? So this list basically means the numbers, right? I'll just create let's say create 3 lists maybe, and then for these particular lists we need inputs. So I'll just use sliders here. Slider is exactly like numbers, but you can slide the numbers. You can change the numbers quickly, guys. So if I have to change this particular number, I have to manually input the different number. So in a slider I can change it quickly. Number slider, right like this. Control C, Control V, Control V, and then I'll keep it here, like this, like this, like this. I'll just give it 14. I just give different z axis in order to create the curve, right guys? 16, 13 maybe on this side, not too much, right guys? So let's run it. Let's see if we get any errors. So looks alright, but where is the other one gone? I've already created 3 of them. I'll create more lists. Control C, Control V, Control V again, and then let us give them the inputs, and then 13.3. let us give it, maybe it's too much, right? 21 maybe on this side, and the last one should be 20, perhaps 16 or 18, like that. Okay, I'll just create the runs. Can you guys see? Now it has sort of a, so the points are in sort of a curve. I'll just take this lower, make this lower, maybe maybe this much, or perhaps let's run it. See, yeah, looks alright. Okay guys, okay, like this, and then let us connect this with this points, and then let us okay, looks alright. So it is taking the mean of these points because it doesn't curve that much. So let us copy all of this, Control C, and then Control V it, make it here, and now let's do one thing, because we want the other curve. Perhaps let us fine tune this curve, guys. Let's first fine tune this, because I want this particular to be a little bit higher, and then this a little bit lower, and then this a little bit higher, and this a little bit lower. Let's run it. Let's see. Okay, Doesn't work. Control Z. I'll just Control Z it. Okay, let's fine tune it, guys. Doesn't look good. 14, 16, 13, 16, and too much. I want the first one to be at 11. Maybe run it again, and then this one should be a little bit higher. Maybe looks alright. And then this one lower, maybe. Okay, this works, guys. So the next thing I want, I'll just group it, or perhaps I'll let us Control C, Control V it, guys, directly. The next group I want here, but I want it I want to give some certain y-axis to it because I want to create it beside it. So I'll just zoom in a little bit and just give some number to it. I won't give a slider this time. Control C, Control V it here. In between these two, I'll just give it here, and I'll just give, let's say, 12, right? I'll just run it. Looks good, but I want the curve to be in the opposite direction, so I'll just give it a 18, 19 this way, and then maybe lower this side, and then maybe this way, guys. It's too much. So 19 is too much higher. Let us fine tune this. 14 maybe, and then this should be lower than this. Looks alright, and then this should be higher, maybe. Okay, looks alright, guys. If you want to check it, you can check it here. You can move, pan it, you can orbit it. Maybe that point is too low, guys. Okay, so looks sort of all right, and then I'll just give another one. Why am I in the band tool? Okay, now I'll just select all of them. Control C, Control V it, guys. I'll just move it. Sorry. Control Z it. I'll just move them here and then give it 24. I'll just run it. Or perhaps what I can do here is Control C, Control Z, Control Z it, and select the first one, and then Control C, and then Control V it here. Control V it here. I just move it. It is getting too jumbled for me, guys. Has it been selected? Make sure this has been selected. Why is this happening? Right, run. Looks alright. Now let us select it. Select the upper one. Sorry, I'll just select this. Control C it, Control V it here. Looks alright, and now I'll just give it number. Control C and Control V it here. I'll just give it 24 here, and then let's run it. Looks alright. Now we have created these 3 scripts. Now guys, let's create a surface. So I'll just search surface by lift. Do we have some surface by lift? Sorry, by list. Sorry, I meant by list. I do not. Let us check the geometry here. Surfaces. Do we have some surfaces by tangents, by points? No. Poly surfaces. Let's check in this. Let us use thing by loft. Let us see. Or by this one, right guys? Just delete this. Just bring it close and just Control C it. Is that it? Just make it here, and then I'll just go here, go to lists. Where is my list? Here, Control C and then Control V it here. I'll just remove the list. I'll just have only 3 lists. This is the list 1. I'll just go to here, and then I'll take the output from this to list 1, the output from this to list 2, and the output from the third one. If I zoom in here to this, and then let us run it. Let us see. Can you see we have got a surface now guys? Let us view it in 3D. Let us orbit it as well. Can you guys see we have created a surface? This is sort of a parametric design of a roof. Now what we're going to be doing, I'll just go back to my script now. Now we're going to be saving this, so we can see this in Revit. If I go back to my Revit, we can save we can see this particular file. If I want, I'll just view it in 3D guys. Can you see? I can see the maybe I'll just move it to shaded. Maybe now you guys can see it. Perhaps could has, and I'll just go to fine here. Now you guys able to see it, but what we're going to be doing here is, without taking too much time, the video is getting too long guys, so I'll just export it to a format called as SAT. I'll just go here, exp. I'll just export to SAT here. I'll just go here and then give the surface as geometry, and the file path, we'll just use the file path option just like we used earlier, sorry. So file path, we don't need to file to path here because can simply go here, and now if I want the units to be set in feet, I'll just I can set it here, or I can change it. If else I can keep it here in feet. I'll just browse it to save this particular file. I'll just select the correct folder here, and then I'll just save it as parametric roof, right? So I'll just save it. It will get saved in .sat file. So I'll just run it to save this, and now the run has been completed. So the next thing that we want is, I'll just go back to my Revit now, and now can you see guys, this is an incomplete sort of a roof. I'm not able to do anything with this particular roof. So what I can do is, I'll just go to masking inside, and I'll just use this option called in place mask. We've already seen this in place mask, so nucleus will be okay, right? So I'll just have to rename it whatever I want. Let's ROOF maybe. It is not So I'll just ROOF, right guys. I'll just select OK, let it be guys. Now what I want is, I just cancel it for now guys, because before this I have to import the SAT file that I've just created. And now I'll just it's a CAD guys. I'll just link this particular file here. I'll just go to the desktop, go to the folder where I saved it, Dynamo here. In my, I think I have to select SAT here, SAT format. So this is basically the format that we can use in our that we sort of see in our SolidWorks, right? Some of the people associated with SolidWorks may be able to recognize this file. Now can you see sort of a SAT sort of format has now been created here. I'll go to masking inside. Now I'll just show the mask, and I'll just go to roofs now, and I'll just go here. I'll just select a particular roof, whichever I want, and then I'll just do one thing. I just go to this create roof button, create roof option. So it's not working. Let me check what is the problem. Okay guys, let's try this. Just cancel it. Just try this once again. I'll just go to masking. I'll just go to in place mask, and then I'll just okay, related mask 1, and then I'll just go to insert. I'll just go to link CAD. I'll just go to SAT. I'll just go to parametric roof. I'll just click OK. Yes. And now let us finish it. Yeah, now I'm able to select this, right guys? So I wasn't able to select this. So I'll just go to masking and site again. I'll just go to roof now. Can you see I'm able to select this particular roof? I'll just create a, let us give a 9-inch roof. Okay, that works. Okay, and then create go to sorry, I'll just select this again, go to the roof what I want, and then create this particular roof. It has a certain sort of thickness. If I want to change the thickness, I'll just go to here, I'll just go here, I'll just change the thickness from here as well. I'll just give it a 4-inch thickness. I'll just create OK. I'll just create OK. If I want to add the material, I'll just go to edit type and then edit the material from here as well. Let's add some material here. Let us add some tiles maybe. If I want to have some let us add some custom material guys. Use rendered appearance here. I'll just go to I'll just go to appearance here. I'll just go here, asset browser. I can change if I want. Let us create a custom appearance here guys. I'll just go here. I'll just go default here. I'll just duplicate this material, ROOF for now. This is taking a little bit of time guys. I'll just select the image. Do I have some image in my materials? I guess I have. I have some materials here. I want thumbnails. Maybe I want this particular roof. Okay guys, now you may not be able to see this. Let us wait for it. It's showing, right guys? So now I've created this particular roof. Okay guys, so this was all about the sheets creation and view creation. I'll just simply delete this. Let's move on to a little bit more advanced example here in our Revit. So let us say for example I want to create a roof, and that roof should be curved. So how can I do that? So what I can do is I'll just go to curves. In my geometry, since it's a curve, it may fall under the curves, and if I go to the curves, I have different sort of options, but I'll use a NURB curve here. Can you see a NURBS curve here? I'll just select this, and then it has some options here. I'll just extend this a little bit, and then we have by points, we have degree, etc. So I'll just select the first one, right? I'll just zoom